All right. Again, another day when we won't take too long. Just wanted to look at some of the examples that you guys did for this assignment. Clarify some things. Hello, everybody. Let me start. I have to admit, my directions could have been a little bit clearer. And what was interesting was that everybody approached the problem a little bit differently. Some of you actually skipped ahead to doing what I would consider a pretty finished prototype. And I really wanted you to go through the process of working up the entire process from concept through to diagramming, wireframing, et cetera, before you get to the finish. So I'm going to start by showing you an example of what I had in my mind's eye, which wasn't necessarily what I described probably, but what I thought was a pretty good example of what I'm looking for, which I'll probably use in the future as an example for the students to follow in the assignment. So I'm not going to grade anybody down for doing it differently than this. I just want to show it to you so you have some idea what I was thinking. So Monet went through all the steps, and so I'm pretty pleased about that, and it helped clarify in my mind what I was looking for. So she started out with a content inventory. She thought, okay, what am I going to need to pull this off? She gave us a full list of the things that she planned on doing, the number of pages, what should go on those pages, and how she was going to handle the navigation. Then she gave us a diagram of how her architecture is going to work. I really appreciate this. This is not the way I normally think, but I think this clarifies very clearly for herself how she was going to put all these elements together and have them relate to each other. And she gave us some wireframe ideas of what it should look like. So I thought this was pretty clear, and she follows through with more. Now, having said this, and I do hold this up as an example of the kind of thing I was looking for, everybody, like I say, had a different approach, and some people did something similar, just maybe not as complete or as thorough as hers was. But I thought that this exemplified the kind of process that as a UI designer, you should be going through when you're starting to create an app. So, this is in the way. And I just wanted to show some of the others, just some examples. Now, I'm not one for humor in the classroom, but someone pulled off something very cute and clever. I loved hers. If you're going to adopt a pet, why not something that's easy to maintain, like a pet rock? And what I liked about this was, I liked the concept. It was a lot of fun. And the things that she took a lot of time to talk about. She created a whole mythos around all this, adoption, the profiles of the different rocks. She took time, somewhere she found these pictures, or she made them up herself, I don't know, but I love this. And then about us, I love this little history, sapphire graywhack. And that was the fun thing, is that it's easy to get caught up in the seriousness of what we do. And the fact that she and Markel both asked me to do something different than just straight, cat, dog, guinea pig, boa constrictor, whatever. And I appreciate the fact that they took a different approach, so that they had fun with what could be a kind of a tedious assignment. And I thought the idea was fun. And so I'm just emphasizing that not everything has to be too serious here. Her layout and everything is fine. I would like to have seen her go through the diagramming process like Monet did, but I just really appreciated the fact that she did this. She took a serious assignment and made it fun for herself. And there is certainly nothing wrong with that. And the thing is that she did it pretty well. So let's see. Oh, it's in the way. So, but let me look at some of the others. And here's a case where I wasn't sure. This looked like an example of someone who went ahead and did the whole project, A and B in one, because this is a pretty complete looking prototype to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like I said, the point of this assignment was to get you to think about the whole process from beginning to end. And this is a nicely laid out site. It looks really good. It navigates well. And I love the images. Who doesn't love a fluffy cat? Well, I have friends who don't love fluffy cats, but and stay friends long. And the navigation works. And so I'm wondering where they plan on going for the second part of the assignment. And we'll see. Then again, this was one of the processes, one of the steps I wanted you to go through. This just either digitally or paper and pencil, just planning out your navigation. And so this person took me literally and just said, okay, this is how things are going to work. And this is perfectly fine. Maybe the next process would be a rough wireframe, but someone else, yeah, who went through the process as well. You know, basically laid out what it is they had to do, what they needed to do it, what their architecture is going to be. And again, they're just listing these things, but then they also had their wireframe. And again, see, this is what I'm thinking about when I think of wireframes. You don't necessarily have to have images. You don't have to have your icons or your buttons in place or anything else. Just a rough idea of where it's going to go. So this was another one that went through the whole process. There might have been an intermediary step between the list and this in just, you know, diagramming out the navigation a little bit, but otherwise this was what I was looking for this assignment. I need to download that, never mind. Let's see. Again, someone else who took the time to diagram out what they wanted to do. And, you know, like I say, a rough form. It's a rough diagram. It doesn't need to be polished or necessarily have an awful lot of information on it. Just showing us the flow and what will be at the end of each click. This is what I was looking for. Same thing here. Oh, that's right. Do this. But again, see, it doesn't have to be finished at this point. Just have, mostly it's about, at this point, which is like the third step of what you should be doing, third or fourth step, you're still not putting in an awful lot of polish. You've got a rough idea of where you're, well, actually in this step, you've got a clear idea where everything's going to go and what your navigation is. You just, then it's just a matter of basically doing some dragging and dropping once you've got that stuff worked out. This was a really similar to what Monet did, just she didn't use any boxes or anything like that to make it happen. But she's diagramming out what her navigation flow is, which is a great place to be as you get ready to do your wireframe. Come on. Like I say, this was kind of this is the area of the third step that I wanted to see. But again, the navigation is there. We get in navigation, put in an awful lot of information. And a lot of thought went into this, how it's laid out. Not all the navigation is here yet, but most of it is. And they took time to think about their design. I really liked their approach to the text. What they're thinking about should be in there. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. But here's someone who went through the process again. So, first part, write out what you think you need. Then your architecture, then diagram out that architecture, and then do a wireframe. So this is two of the steps that, again, I'm not jumping on anybody because I didn't have as clear an idea in describing it as I should have. So all of these are acceptable at this point. It just seeing how this assignment worked. I know how to do it better next time. And the thing is that the steps that all of you did were fine. It just, I wanted to see the whole process at the beginning. But, these diagrams are excellent for showing what it is you're trying to do. Since we are talking about a visual medium, some of you are more comfortable with digital, some of you are more comfortable with pencil and paper. Whatever works, as long as you have a clear idea of what your navigation is going to be, what the different pieces are going to be, and how they're going to relate to each other. This is perfectly fine. And this is a really good example of what the wireframe should look like, and it's fine. So I guess what I want to say at this point is, and we still have time, so if any of you want to go back in and work on that assignment again before you do your finished version, I won't bother grading these until the end of this week. And then I'll go ahead and grade the second part of the assignment, which is with the full prototype at the middle of next week before the end of the quarter. But you all have the idea. It's just a matter of polishing up the work. You all obviously, well, those of you who did more complex wireframes obviously didn't have that much trouble with Azure. I know some people have had some in the past, but because it is not as intuitive as XD, but I saw that there was some good navigation. People did some nice work with it. So I'm not that worried about you working Azure to finish everything up. So I guess that's basically all I really have to say. Because I didn't get everything I was looking for in this assignment, I want to give you people time to sit there and maybe go through that process again if you want to. You don't have to. No one has to do any more on 6A than they already have, unless they feel like they can get something out of the exercise. But I wanted you to be able to see what the full process should be. The idea of sitting down and thinking about what you need to put into it, then doing an informational architecture of how all the different pieces are going to relate, how the pages are going to relate, then a diagram, either pencil or digital, of what those pages will look like in relation to each other, and a navigation goes with it, and then a rough wireframe that has the pieces in. It has a navigation in, but not necessarily the colors, the icons, the buttons, the images, but just make sure that the navigation is working. And then for 6B, take that that more complete wireframe and do your drag and drop and get your images and colors and everything working for you. So that's basically all I really want to talk about today. I can't open up. One of the problems with this situation here is like, I've asked you to use Azure, but I can't download Azure onto a computer here because I don't have administrative, only IT has administrative access. So I have to grade these at home. And I had a busy weekend and I didn't get to some of it like I wanted to. But I'll give you till the end of the week if you want to do more for your 6A assignment. And then, make sure that you have your 6B ready by the middle of next week so I can grade that before the quarter's over. Originally, I was thinking that we could meet next week, next Monday, but I don't know that that's necessary. You probably have finals to work on instead, so we'll go ahead and skip next Monday's class. And so this will be the final class for the quarter. You've probably been notified that the evaluations for the course are available. And so I would request that you do fill those out. It helps me get better personally. It also helps me hone the course to see if there's more that I could do to make it better, or what's missing, what I can do better, what the course can be doing better. And so if you have the time to do the evaluations, I would recommend that you do that. Other than that, I want to thank you all for a really challenging quarter as we work through this stuff, and also for the fact that you surprised me in a positive way. When I asked you those 2 weeks of those assignments of doing some evaluation of different assignments, you were pretty insightful and got into the detail, got into the weeds of the things that you were looking at, which shows that you are using your critical evaluation skills, which will help you as you become professionals, seeing what is wrong and what is right and what you can do to fix the things that are wrong will be an invaluable skill to have. The key thing that keeps coming back whenever we talk to the industry professionals is that They want problem solvers. They want people who can see a challenge. And instead of, complaining or saying, why does it work like this? Sit there and say, well, this is what I can do to fix it. It's a critical skill in just about anything you do, but especially in the job market. And I think that most of you have proven that, that you have that critical facility. So, like I said, this will be the last class, the last time we see each other. And those who weren't here today, I'll go ahead and post this on the Canvas site next week for as soon as I can this week. In the meantime, is there anybody has any questions or concerns or anything they want to point out right now?
So just to make sure, if you already have a grade in for the 6A assignment, you won't be changing that. Like the grade that's in is what it's going to be.
Yeah, Alexander, you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, if you want to add something, go ahead. But you don't have to, if you don't want to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It's pretty, by the way.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. So once more, thank you again for a good quarter for me. It's been a rough quarter for me. I had an awful lot of, I had 5 classes and over 100 students, and trying to stay ahead of you guys was a challenge for me, but it kept me alert. And you guys responded really well to everything. So thank you for that. And if I don't have contact with any of you before the quarter is over, I hope that you have good holidays and have time to relax and enjoy yourselves and not worry about school at all. So everybody take care and good luck. Thank you all.